Okay, hello, welcome back to another game of chess. Today playing e4 as per usual. I'm ready to attack, I'm ready to sacrifice something. What will my opponent go for? They go for a Sicilian. Right. Normally I go for an a3 Mengarini Sicilian, but I'm going to go c3 today. Playing an Alapin Sicilian. I'm really kind of excited to play this actually because d4, if we see d5, okay, we don't see d5, but this is just bad. This is just we take, they play d5. I play e5 and we just have a French defense without their ability to play the move c5. So this is kind of, I mean, for those of you familiar with the advanced French that can be reached from e4, e6, d4, d5, e5, the move that black then always wants to play is c5, trying to undermine the center. But with traded off c-pawns, this structure can only be beneficial for me, I think. I think we want to probably develop the knight. I mean, a6, yes, standard sort of idea stopping bishop b5, but it seems a bit slow, really. I'm going to make a pretty non-committal knight development, and what I mean by that is knight c3 is slightly less committal than knight f3, in that I haven't yet decided whether I want to push my f-pawn to maybe counteract something like f6, such that if takes, I can take with the pawn, open the f-file, knight f3, bishop d3, castles, etc. So right now, I am going to play bishop d3. I do like this move. We might see knight c6 from my opponent. Then I'll probably, okay, yeah, now I'll play knight f3. My opponent might go for knight ge7, trying to angle for this square here. In fact, there's a very, very thematic idea coming up. If they do play that, there is a trap that they can very easily fall into. Go queen b6 instead. I was talking about the Greek gift. If they castle, we have the setup to play that bishop h7, takes, knight g5, and, you know, queen h5 infiltration, sacrifice. The queen comes here to attack d4. I seem to remember this not being such a problem without the c1. And in fact, maybe if we provoke taking here, we can reinforce that, open the b file for some potential punishment of the queen. I like a3, because it's really not obvious what you do here. You do not want to take this knight, I don't think. Because then, okay, I mean, now I just have, you know, I win connect 3. I can put my rook on the b file. Oh my god, they've gone for knight g7 as well, I've just noticed. I'm hoping they do castle here. So you know what? I'm going to castle. Go on. I've showed you how to do it. Castling, just simple, just castle. It's not hard. You just swap the king and the rook around. You can do it. Damn, they don't go for it now. They might. I mean, there's a very real possibility that they haven't noticed that the Greek gift is a problem here. The knight is trying to probably come into c4. Do I care? Is an interesting question. I could maybe just play rook e1, although I kind of like the rook on the f-file to maybe play f4, f5. Although that f5 square is very much dominated by my opponent, so it might be a good idea to go rook e1. I also might want to make quite a non-committal bishop move, for instance. I mean, my opponent's discovered onto this c3 pawn here, so it could be a good idea to go bishop d2, knight c4. Then I'm not so sure, because I don't want to lose this bishop. It really complements my pawn structure very nicely. So you could go bishop b2, but then, I mean, it's the same problem. Right, we're going to go bishop d2, just for now. Stabilize the pawn. I'm sure we'll see knight c4 here. And we see, oh wow. That's an intriguing move. Okay, interesting. b5, ready to just absolutely secure that knight. I'm tempted to play a4 though, because if you take here, then, I mean, I can put my rook on the a file, and there's no way you're holding that pawn. I'm a fan of a4. I'm a big fan of a4. If your opponent has a pawn on b5, look to play a4. It should be something you consider almost every single time your opponent has a pawn on b5. It's a good way to try and, you know, activate a rook, maybe if your rook's still on the a file, but generally speaking as well, just to sort of undermine this 2-pawn structure here. Like, if we get takes and takes in, this pawn's really weak. So yeah, my opponent takes, and momentarily they're up a pawn. But I could even just take that with the queen straight away. Bishop d7. Then I have to move my queen. Don't know if I'm a fan of that. I could just come back. And then there is an outside pass pawn, but my argument is that it's really weak. And I can just play rook a1. Because I'm still really tempted to, you know what, we're doing this. Bishop d7, we are coming right back. I don't even think it's the best move. I'm just really tempted. My opponent's still got another chance to castle here. And we still have this perfect setup with the bishop on d. Oh, here we go. Takes, finally. Bishop takes h7. The risk paid off of going back to d1 with the queen. And yeah, this is the Greek gift sacrifice. Super, super thematic sacrifice. When you've got a bishop, it doesn't necessarily have to be on d3, but with the knight on f3, the queen on d1, very natural places for those pieces to be. We've got the queen on our home square, and of course we've got the knight develops to its natural square. Yeah, this is probably maybe the most resilient way to defend this. I think the most resilient way is accept the sacrifice. The point is that after knight g5, by the way, if the king goes back, we come in with the queen and we threaten checkmate here, and it's almost, you know, impossible to stop. Now though, do I go knight g5? I probably do. Just clear the way for my queen to get in straight away. Yeah, we're going to go knight g5 anyway. We now hold the bishop. If the move f6 is played, then we are just going to go queen h5. Ooh, that's got to be mate in 3. Takes, check. King here, mate. Or do we go queen h5 first? King can't move. Oh, but then there's knight h6 maybe. So yeah, we're just going to take this. And they cannot recapture, otherwise there is, well, they do. And there is a check here and possible resignation. But we can pre-move. Okay, yeah, they resign because we've blown open the king side, and queen h7 would have been checkmate. A very, very nice game with a Greek gift. Let's analyze it. Okay, so here we are in the analysis. So if I scroll down here, we see 92% accuracy. Awesome. I'm not sure, my face cam might be in the way, but it says 92% accuracy with 1 inaccuracy. No mistakes, no blunders. So let's go through the game. E4, c5, c3. The Alapin Sicilian. Let me just turn on the Masters database here. As you see, Sicilian defense, Alapin variation. This is the third most popular move. 6.6% of the time played, so it's still not, you know, the most common. Knight f3 with the open Sicilian is just a far more common idea. But after c3, something which I don't normally play, a lot of you will have seen me playing a3, the Mengarini Sicilian. I'm trying to build a bit more of a solid repertoire because I'm trying to play into some like actual like cash tournaments. Hopefully I can make some good content, you know, vlogging that experience with some of my mates in the future. However, to win those tournaments, I will actually need to play good chess. So we're going for something a little more solid, still a little bit out there though. So yeah, after we play the move c3, we see e6 here. I go d4, and my opponent, yeah, again, I was hoping for d5, ready to take, and go for like bishop b5 ideas. There's some very interesting ideas where you can like sack a bishop, take on f7. Just some cool lines that I'll probably get into in the future. However, my opponent takes inwards, which is playable, but a bit of a mistake because after takes, d5 and e5, I mean, it's not strictly speaking a mistake, it's absolutely playable. Masters have played it. It has been, you know, the engine doesn't hate it. But this is an advanced French. And if we go back to the start of the game and we play e4, e6, d4, d5, e5, look what move the computer wants you to play. It wants you to play move c5 here. Same structure. The difference is there is a c pawn, and so black can go for this move c5. We can play c3, knight c6, knight f3. This is the Paulsen attack. And then, you know, queen b6 ideas, knight g7, angling for f5 maybe. And then after takes at some point, or if this bishop comes off, then queen can take b2. You know, a lot of really, really standard ideas in an advanced French. I'm kind of familiar with it. My brother plays this system. Not very well though. Anyway, but the difference is in my position that I go in the game, it's an advanced French, but they can't play c5. So because they can't play c5, this is, I think, a little less easy to undermine, and the computer evaluation slightly reflects that. And I think it's just a bit harder to play. So we go knight c3. Yeah, a6 was just a bit slow. I mean, I don't know, they thought they were playing a Sicilian, I guess, which they kind of were, but then it became not really a Sicilian anymore, and, you know, a6 became less relevant. But anyway, bishop b4, bishop d3, best move. Knight comes to here, and again, queen g4. Actually, wait a second. It likes queen g4 here as well. Even though bishop d3 is best, queen g4. Let's just look at this, g6. See, my instinct would be to play h4. Let's see how bad that is. Not even bad. Computer actually likes it. Okay, I might make this my prep because this looks fun. But anyway, I'll look at that in my own time. Bishop d3, knight develops, and then, yeah, knight f3. Very standard stuff. Sorry, let me just turn off the database here. Knight, oh no, not knight g7, sorry, that was the best move. My opponent instead went for queen b6, but I rightly identified, actually castling's fine, but also a3, equally good, I believe. And after bishop takes, pawn takes, there's no threat on d4 anymore. The pawn solidifies this, the b file is open, my opponent develops their knight, I go rook b1, queen steps back, and then I just castle. And I was hoping my opponent would shamelessly copy me in castling, because as you see, that Greek gift sacrifice idea, takes, knight g5, king goes back, queen h5. If you move the rook, then I'm going to be able to take on here, king goes back, check here, and checkmate. Yeah. Anyway, that Greek gift sacrifice idea would have worked with the bishop, knight, and queen set up how they are. However, my opponent did not castle. They instead messed around for a while. Bishop d2 wasn't accurate. It preferred a4, which I guess is like preventing the move e5, which I didn't really think about b5, so I guess that's an oversight on my behalf. But a4, if you play b5, that's just awful, because like I can take. It doesn't even want me to take the pawn. That's funny, because it's just isolated and weak. Why waste my time, I guess? Bishop a3. Anyway, I instead went for bishop d2. The pawn comes up. I go a4 now, correctly, I believe. And after they take, I take with check here. And then, yeah, I decided, I knew this wasn't the most accurate move. I think, yeah, I probably would have played queen a3 if I wasn't so obsessed with this Greek gift idea. Just stepping back, maintaining pressure on the knight. Maybe there's rook to a3. Maybe there's rerouting of this bishop somehow. And we've got a lovely bishop on d3. However, I go back to d1, ready to set up the idea, playing some interesting chess. Because, you know, it's kind of a, let's turn the board around here just quickly. You know, it's perfectly reasonable if you're black here, if you completely miss the Greek gift sacrifice idea. You know, okay, well, I'm not castling queenside, I've got my pieces developed, what should I do now? It's kind of easy just to play castles. And as you see, double question mark, red circle, huge blunder. Let's turn the board back around here. Greek gift sacrifice, immediately played, takes. And it doesn't really make a difference whether you take it or not. If they had taken it, as I showed previously, knight g5. If the king goes up, we go queen g4, ready for a discovery. If f6, then I believe we take, and king takes is the best move. That's outrageous. Bishop f4, we're gonna go bishop f5. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous to put your king on g6 in any position, really, unless you're talking an endgame. But if the king had stepped back here, rather, then it's that same idea. Queen h5, the rook moves, we can go check here, check, knight blocks, do we go knight h7? Yeah, here, bishop f4, this is just relentless attack. Anyway, my opponent decided not to take, and so instead, sorry, I've gone way too far off tangent here. My opponent decided not to take, but knight g5 anyway, knight goes to f5, I can just take it, because obviously after they recapture, I open up that mate in 2 here. They resign in this position. However, if they played the only legal move, king to g8, we would go queen h7 checkmate and win a lovely game. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you are enjoying seeing the climbing of my rating. I've been playing some really good chess recently. I think I've gained about 60 elo over the past week. So I've actually been studying some openings. I'm on a break from my uni at the moment, but I'm going back soon. So I'm going to try and keep the content up. For those of you loyal subscribers, always there in the comments. I see you, I appreciate you, thank you very much. If you're new, like, subscribe if you enjoyed. Also like, subscribe, do all of the good stuff to help the algorithm. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.